Hello, hello YouTube. Hello, MGTOW. Now, I'm not a geometry major, that's for doggone sure, but I know there's there's the triangles within triangles, also known as a tetrahedron, and that's about all I know about shapes within shapes. Now, I'm going to talk about the geometrical conundrum cluster cuss that caused MGTOW. Now, MGTOW's been around for a long time, but what has caused MGTOW to go what's the word? Critical freaking mass for this current society, or is pushing it towards critical mass. Number one is the language. It's human language. Is complex human language. The ability to attach human language with emotion. You know, the not the ability, but the human element of human emotion and language. I can't freaking get the best description of it. Now, I'm gonna say a phrase, and it's gonna prove a point. And what it's going to prove is, with the amount of thumbs down, with the thumbs down, and with the strike that I'm going to receive, it's going to prove. It's going to prove that human emotion and the English language go hand in hand in creating MGTOW. Here's the phrase: feminism is a lie. I can guarantee you any money that I'm going to get a strike. Any money. With this video alone. The next phrase I'm going to say: pickup artists are trash. So you're still here? Okay. The human language and emotion is what created MGTOW. Now, in order to transcend into the next phase of MGTOW, you have to be able to not let words, or transcend into MGTOW or the next evolution of human being. You have to be able to not let words affect your emotions. Now, you can't do away with human language, but what you can do is delete the emotions that cause words, that are caused by words. That is how you transcend to another level. Now, another thing is domestic terrorism. We called in another thing is domestic terrorism. That is basically connected to that I affectionately attached to the first phrase. It's not hard to figure that one out. By look, you may not believe this, but the courts are rigged. The courts have been rigged since our fathers, since our grandfathers. In fact, many of our grandparents and our parents, actually our fathers and our grandfathers, and in many cases our great-grandfathers, have watched the shift, have watched a shift in equality, not equality, in equity. Now, there was once a time where a man had to take responsibility if a woman would act a fool. And that right there, when a woman were to act in a non-conductive manner, would reflect on the man and reflect on his status. And women knew about this, knew about the reflection of status, how the importance of status, because the status would allow him to progress in benefiting their offspring. If she chopped off at the mouth, that would affect his status, which then in turn would affect the amount of resources that he was able to get for her and the offspring. Now, fast forward, now we have women able to vote, women in the workplace. Let me break this to you. There's no glass ceiling. Women have outnumbered men in the corporate world, or in office jobs. Yes, the dispatches of our majority are female, but the truck is a male space for the most part. The truck is a male space. Unless you want to bring a female into your truck, then it ceases to be a male space. Sorry about that. I got confused. Okay. Didn't get wasn't greeted with my dog. Now, I'm getting off topic here. Now, another thing, as time went on, women were able to do things, were able to do work jobs, vote, and enter corporate world. But the same standard applies. But the only difference is she is still not held accountable for her actions and can now pass the blame on some random man. So, where men would get 20, 25 years plus, she would get only 5, maybe 10 years. Because there is no man to take, there is no accountability. There's no one to hold her accountable for her actions. Or she might get probation and or house arrest. So she could do whatever she wants. She could kill a man, maim him, mangle him, mutilate him, and there will be nobody held accountable to the extent of the law where it is supposed to be. That is one of the reasons. We're going to talk about the majority of them. Because there's not enough video, there's not enough time to talk about all of them. Now, another reason are the PUAs, the pickup artists. Let's talk about them. There are people out there with multiple baby mamas who won't, basically, let me break this to you. If you don't give them an inch, they will take an inch and then some. Doesn't matter if you don't give them an inch or not. They will take that mile. They will take that mile one way or another. They will take that mile one way or another if you have multiple baby mamas. You, my friends, are the reason that MGTOW exists, because you go around knocking up random women, which in turn, let me break this to you. When you knock up a random woman, some strange that looks good, that with no type of substance to their personality, or with no type of substance to your benefit, let me tell you what you do. Let me tell you what you bring to MGTOW. What contributions do you bring to creating MGTOW? You take somebody who might have been compatible with said man, and you make them non-compatible. That is what you do. That is how you create MGTOW men. That is how you create men who have gone their own way. You pollute the ones that are compatible with a said man, making them worthless to said men, because many of said men are not going to take care of your illegitimate seed. We do not see a reason we should take care of your illegitimate seed, your illegitimate heir, your freaking life siphon. There are some men that will take care and deal with your sorry behind, because you are irresponsible and won't take care of your children. Oh, and won't take care of your children with a Grand Canyon in your mouth. Because you don't understand the concept of responsibility, or refuse to understand the concept. I hope you're not behind in child support. you're taking all your problems out on MGTOW because you didn't get a stimulus check. Oh, boo-hoo. Guess what? I got mine. And I'm getting a bonus. In fact, I still got mine and I'm getting a bonus. So, what's your excuse? Now, we're going to go to the other part. The government. By them literally hand over fist allowing these laws to come into play, these child support laws that are highly biased, that allow parental alienation to occur. Do you understand what you have done? You've basically made emotional men and the next cycle of manipulative women, which is going to get worse over time. Thank you, welfare state. To be honest, I think if COVID was an actual attack, they should have waited 5 more years. They should have waited 5 more years. Because in 5 more years, they wouldn't have scared. There wouldn't be enough elders who knew how to take care of a family left for them to scramble and find and try to learn from. Let me repeat that. They should have waited 5 more years because there might not have been enough elders elder women who knew how to take care of a family, who knew how to take care of a man. There wouldn't be enough elders around for them to scramble to try to learn from them with that disease if it was a biological attack. All they had to do was wait 5 more years and then do what they had to do. Then everything would collapse. Now they're scrambling to learn from their elders, to learn how to cook, to learn how to clean, to learn how to maintain a house, to learn how to do all the things that were traditionally done by the person who basically sat back and raised their household. Let me break this to you. The education system is now a joke. It will be a joke for many years to come. Let me break this to you. The things learned at school the things learned at home cannot be taught at school. It has to be taught by the parent. It has to be taught by the parent. It has to be taught by the parent. Because if it is not taught by the parent, what do you think is going to happen? The child's gonna flounder in this world. Another thing that basically pushes men toward MGTOW is women themselves. Actually, women and men collectively, but women themselves. The shaming language. Who hurt you? Let me break this to you. Nobody can hurt you any more than you can hurt yourself. And I'm gonna give you an example of that fact. An example of that fact. There was and probably still is a culture that can and will drive a dagger into their gut, run it across their midsection, and give a swift upwards thrust to finish the job, and bleed out for an excess of days. Due to true devotion and meditation, and make little to no sound, and make barely even a peep while doing such. There was a culture of people that would literally, without making a sound, drive a dagger into their gut, bring it across from one side to another, and then thrust up toward their heart and bleed out. There is no human being on the face of the earth that can hurt them, that could have hurt them in any way, shape, or form. Through mental discipline and devotion. And you know the funny thing about it? That's what made them feared, revered, and respected in World War II. Because they could eat 10 shots and keep charging. They could eat 10 shots, 10 bullets, and keep charging. You can eat 5, 10, 15 bullets in the body cavity and keep on charging, and keep on pushing, keep on trucking. And just imagine, the population of the earth isn't nowhere near as much of a population we have now. I'm pretty sure you're getting to where I think the bonsai charges of World War II. They had the M1911 for the stopping power because of that. .45 ACP rounds for that. 30-06 for that. 50 cal rounds that'll rip something to shreds for that particular reason. Now, as I said, nobody can hurt you or me any more than you can hurt yourself. Not a man, not a woman. No man or woman. So this shaming language, who hurt you? What made you this way? You made yourself this way. You made yourself this way as self-preservation. You made yourself this way by observation, leading into self-preservation. You'll find somebody that's right for you. Not unless you work on yourself. Again, I will say it, MGTOW is not always permanent. Not unless you work on yourself and better yourself, get yourself able to travel the world, to experience the world as it is. You will, unless you work on yourself and work on your surroundings, if you're able to. For some people, MGTOW is permanent. I will break this to you. MGTOW is permanent for some people. Not for everybody. For some. Because they can't leave the society of the West due to circumstances, due to mistakes. But I will tell them this: once you get to Mexico, the world's open to you. The whole world's open to you. Once you get to Mexico, the whole world's open. I want you to know that. Once you get to Mexico, the whole world's open. Just saying. Now, as I said, you won't find nobody unless you travel, gentlemen. You won't. It's not gonna happen. But I digress. This is MGTOW on the Win, signing off.